Well, what other kind of evidence, Dr. Taitz, do you have that Obama does not have the right to be in this office?
Well, as I have told you, first reason, and he admitted to it, is the fact that his father was never a U.S. citizen. That his mother, Ann Dunham, was a student at the University of Hawaii in and around the time that he was born. That was not true, and we have received information from the Registrar of University of Hawaii and also Registrar of University of Washington. And actually, she did only one semester in the University of Hawaii in 1960, and then in autumn of 1961, actually starting from August, she was in the University of Washington, while his father was in Hawaii. There is no record of her being in any university from December of 1960 until August of 1961. That's the time that, according to Obama's paternal grandmother, he was born in Kenya. And a few people have asked, well, why did they go to Kenya? I cannot tell specifically what was the reason, but one of the reasons could have been is that Obama was still married to his first wife. Now, him being a Muslim, it's not a problem in Kenya. Muslims are allowed to have several wives simultaneously. However, it is a problem in the United States of America. It's considered to be a bigamy, a crime, and that could have been the reason why they couldn't get married here in the United States, and that's why they had to go to Kenya.
Do you have a copy of their Kenyan marriage certificate?
No. You're welcome to go.
Do you think one exists?
The author Jerome Corsi has traveled to Kenya, and there is an interesting fact. I remember reading an article from a reporter in Kenya. I believe his last name was Ochieng, O-C-H-I-E-N-G. I think it was Tom Ochieng, if I'm not mistaken. What was interesting about this article is that he writes that Obama Sr. married a woman by name Anna Toot, T-O-O-T, in the state of Washington under the name of Shirley Ann Dunham. Now, keep in mind what's interesting, that her social security number was issued in the state of Washington, even though she was born in Kansas. And I saw her application for social security and then the actual signature on the social security card, and they look completely different. And again, what's interesting, one, the application looks like it was signed by a young person. The card looks like it was signed by an older person. You can see shaky handwriting. Now, she and her father both have the same name, Stanley A. Dunham. His middle name is Armour, her middle name is Ann, but the way they write it, it's exactly the same name, Stanley A. Dunham. And this is kind of strange that the father and the daughter would have the same name. We've seen 2 social security numbers for her. We've seen numerous names for her. As I said, one article shows her as Anna Toot, another shows her as Shirley A. Dunham. We've seen A. Satoro, S-U-T-O-R-O, A. Soyetoro, S-O-E-T-O-R-O. There are numerous names, different social security numbers, different accounts, whether she was married, not married, her whereabouts, her religion. It's not clear. As I said, she lived in Pakistan where Christians were not allowed. So it appears that the only way she could live and work there for Ford Foundation would be on her Indonesian passport as a citizen of Indonesia and a Muslim. So there are a lot of inconsistencies in this family in regards to the mother as well. Next is of course, this is the statute from Hawaii 338. 338 specifically states certificates for children born out of state. It shows that the state of Hawaii issues birth certificates to one's children of Hawaiian residents born out of state. And of course, Obama's sister, Maya Soetoro, admitted that she was born in Indonesia. And just recently, the state of Pakistan has issued an advisory for employees, for people seeking to become state employees. They have questions and answers. There's a question there about the 44th President of the United States, where it states Barack Hussein Obama, born in Kenya. And you have to know this answer in order to pass the exam and be an employee of the State Department in Pakistan. And it's on internet. Similarly, the Congress of Kenya Assembly has announced him to be the son of the earth of Kenya.
Where can they find that on the internet, Dr. Taitz?
I have it on my site. They can go on my blog, defendourfreedoms.us, and it's there. We have all this information. Next, this is an affidavit of a licensed private investigator by name Jorge L. Barro, and this comes from the legal action that was filed in Mississippi. And as I said, there are probably 100 legal actions.
We're here by phone interview with General Jones, who's in Nevada. General Jones, as an officer, retired, but you do support her. Can you tell us why you support her?
Number one, the Constitution requires certain qualifications to be President of the United States. And there's a moral issue as well. And so the people of the country can't be sitting here in limbo, not knowing whether their president is fully qualified to be to fill that position. And also, there's a lot of bills coming out of Congress as well that are being signed. And so the people, we the people, are not comfortable with those bills being signed, because we don't know whether he is in fact a legal citizen of the United States. And all he would have to do is show his bona fides. And with birth certificate, now that the issue has grown beyond just the birth certificate issue, now there's a question about various issues that are embedded in his college papers and transcripts. So I think the American people are entitled to know, bottom line, just if the president is qualified or not. And it certainly raises a lot of questions that he refuses to show his birth certificate or open up his college records. This has never happened with a previous president of the United States, to my knowledge, in the history of the country. And it is becoming a more and more grave issue as the days go by, because more and more people are concerned.
Chain of command is an important issue, and knowing that you have a valid chain of command is important in the military, is it not?
Absolutely.
And every officer knows what that chain of command is, so that bogus officers can't implant themselves and give you orders that you don't have to take. Isn't that true?
Absolutely. That goes from a private or airman basic right up to a four-star general. That's embedded in your discipline and your day-to-day activities in the military.
So do you think there are active duty officers and non-commissioned officers that are in the Air Force, Army, Navy that may right now be questioning whether they have to take orders from usurper Obama?
Well, I can't speak for them, but I believe there are. I believe there are several.
Can you say that whether you know or talk to any one or two of them?
Yes, I've talked to some on that very issue, and
So
I can't speak for them.
So is this a dangerous situation to have active duty military people that are questioning whether their orders are even legal because the president doesn't have legal standing?
Well, it's up in the air now. It's up in the air nationwide, and it's probably a lot deeper than what people realize. And it's gotta be brought to a head. It's just that simple.
This on internet and television and cable and reproduce it and publish it in any form?
Well, I don't have any objection